Hi guys! Okay, so I look a bit teary because I've just finished filming it. Can I just say, I was not expecting to get as emotional as I did, and I really apologise in advance if the video is not coherent, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to play this back and it's not going to be coherent. I'm just going to put it out anyway. Even though no one can hear anything beyond my tears, I'm still going to put it out there, so apologies for that in advance. I mean, you know, on a good day I'm not coherent and structured. Can you imagine, like, when I'm talking about this subject, which is obviously the closest subject to my heart? There's not really much else that can really hurt me now other than that. I know people are going to see the video and think I'm not over it. Like, I'm over it. There's just one thing that you have to understand with grief is you can be over it, but you'll never ever be over it at the same time. And what I mean by that is, look, you can go by your days, you know, not even thinking about it, and you're having happy days and good days, you know, from like a week or a month or anything, but the minute you remember it, that pain that you feel is exactly the same pain as if it happened the previous week. Doesn't matter if it's been a year or 2 or 3, doesn't matter. It's exactly the same feeling, like the pain, the sharpness in your heart that you feel, it's exactly the same. The only difference is it happens less and you can control it more, because it takes more of your concentration and more of your focus to kind of get into that zone and think exactly what happened. And obviously I had to do that for this video. That's why I was like, oh, I couldn't stop crying, and then I tried my best, but I can't. And my nose is running now, so yeah, that's not a good thing. I don't know if anyone follows me on Snapchat, but like I was talking about, I think I have a deviated septum, and this right now is not helping. So yeah, I hope you guys, you know, enjoy what's to come, and again, look, this isn't going to be the most structured or coherent of videos. This is literally the death of my husband, how I found out, you know, what I went through, and how I kind of overcame, you know, the feelings that I did. So that's just my own personal story. If you're not really gonna understand the lack of structure or coherency, is coherency a word? I really hope it is. There's no point watching it. This is just me in my life. I mean, if you're watching it up to this point and you still want to watch, then you're obviously interested in that. So let's just listen and shh. I'm joking. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. I'll just get right into it. So for those of you who are new to this channel, I got married to, you know, what I believe was my soulmate in June 2014. It was an Islamic marriage. I was around 27 at the time. We moved in together straight away and literally lived happily ever after. Like, it was honestly 10 months in total I was married to him, and it was the best 10 months of my life. Like, we went on holidays together, we moved in, like, we just had, like, you know, we used to chill at home together so much. He used to run his own business, so he had a lot of time off, so literally it was just, we were in each other, like, it was exactly my ideal relationship. We were in each other's kidneys, like, on a different level. I can't even, if I say stuff, people will feel sick. You know, when you feel comfortable with someone, like, that person can know your deepest, darkest secret, everything. That was him. That was how our relationship was. And honestly, from my past marriage, I already spoke about it. My divorce, like, in my divorce video, I was not the best wife. Like, honestly, I barely knew what it was, you know, what was required of me, you know, as a wife, like, what, like, just, you know, the role as a wife. A lot of people ask me, like, what is the role of a wife? Yeah, the role of a wife is actually, like, just that homemaker role, just like that person who's got the house. Like, that whole house is like under her finger. Like, she knows where everything is. She can build a family in that house. She can like, it's just that whole like homemaking kind of ability. And not just that side, obviously the intimate side as well of being a wife and things like that. I found with my late husband, I just kind of like adopted this role so willingly, and not just willingly, like, I wanted to. Like, I was so excited to clean the house for him. I was so excited, mainly because I had matured at this stage. I was like 27, you know. my first marriage I was like 22, 23. So I'd seek pleasure in that. I'd be excited because I knew his reaction when he got home. He'd be so happy. So I would be so excited to clean the house. I'd be so excited to see like his reaction when he came home and I, you know, made this new meal or tried something out that we normally eat outside, or like just tried that new recipe, or, you know, tried the new Iranian dish because he was Iranian. Like just seeing him and just seeing how happy it would make him, like that just literally was everything to me. And I was like, you know what, I actually want to do this. Like I never ever thought I have to clean tomorrow. It was not even a thought. And honestly, that to me is the perfect relationship, when you're not even seeing these things as chores. Like you just want to do them for your man. Like that's just something that you want to do. And I had that and I was so happy, because if you know me, you know, like proper dirty, like not dirty, but like I don't like cleaning, I don't like washing dishes, and I don't like any of the above. These, my dislike, were not even an issue in my marriage. So we were kind of together having this amazing marriage, and we had the Islamic marriage, so we hadn't had, you know, the wedding parties. Around December time, January, beginning of January time, I was a bit late. In my time of month was a bit late, so we thought, okay, he actually didn't know, so I thought, what's going on? I need to take a pregnancy test and see what's happening. Took my pregnancy test, found out I was actually pregnant. Told him, like, we were happy, but like at the same time really nervous. Like we haven't actually had a wedding like reception yet. How you have the wedding reception to let the world know that you're married. We hadn't had that yet, so it was like, what do we do? And he's like, so we're gonna have our wedding. We're gonna literally get married. That's it. Just clarifying, before I get any like ignorant messages, we were Islamically married already, so this was just a matter of a party and the community knowing. What had happened was my dad obviously lives abroad, so he wasn't able to be there. Like it was very, like, look, you can imagine how not serious it would have looked to everyone really early on. It was 10 days in from meeting this guy, so not everyone was on board at the start. So this wedding reception was our way to kind of get everyone on board. So, you know, we set the date for our wedding, 8th of March. I, having had my previous wedding, left him to take the reins with the wedding. I was like, you could do whatever you want, which is very not normal for a girl, especially not normal for me. But I was just like, you know what, you do whatever you want. Like I've had my time splitting hairs of details of like wedding, you know, wedding stuff and like whatever, like flowers, centerpiece, etc. I was like, you do this, you do whatever you want with this. Obviously I'll take whatever he doesn't want to do, and he does whatever he wants to do. Choose, like, choice wise. So, you know, we start planning in such a short period of time, from like end of January, February, literally March. It was literally a month. We ordered rings from a shopping mall in London. A couple of days before the wedding, we got the rings back. His one was too big, mine was the right size. So we thought, you know, it's too late to send them back. Let's just keep them for the wedding, for the pictures, and then we'll send them back afterwards. So that's what we did. We had the wedding. You know, it was the most amazing time. I'll try and put some photos in, but, you know, with covering, because obviously I wasn't wearing a scarf at the time, but try and cover as much as I can of myself. So, like, please excuse the really crappy editing that you're about to see.
Well, where do I start? On the first day we met, it was a really awkward one, because as usual, from what I've heard, she was 2 hours late. I waited for her, and then we went to a restaurant, we ate, we spoke all night. Yeah, I thought, this is the one. As you can see now, we're here. She is the one. Yeah, she's an amazing person. Really good person. Her personality is amazing as well. Obviously her looks as well. But yeah, we're here today. Hopefully it'll be a good night. I want to thank everyone who's come in to celebrate with us on this amazing day. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good time. Thank you.
For the rest of my life, I'll be with you. I'll stay by your side, honest and true, to the end of my time. I'll be loving you for the rest of my life, through days and nights. I'll thank Allah for opening my eyes, now and forever. feel so blessed when I think of you, and I ask Allah to bless all we do. You're my wife and my friend and my strength, and I pray we're together in Jannah. Oh, now I found myself, I feel so strong. Yes, everything was changed when you came along. Oh, and there's a couple of words I wanna say. For the rest of my life, I'll be with you. I'll stay by your side, honest and true, to the end of my time. I'll be loving you for the rest of my life, through days and nights. I'll thank Allah for opening my eyes, now and forever. I'll be there for you. I know it deep in my heart, and now that you're here in front of me, I strongly feel love. And I have no doubt, and I sing it loud, that I will love you eternally. For the rest of my life, I'll be with you. I'll stay by your side, honest and true, to the end of my time. I'll be loving you for the rest of my life, through days and nights. I'll thank Allah for opening my eyes, now and forever. I'll be there for you. I know it deep in my heart.
Then began our married life, and it just even got it got even better, if it possibly could. We were literally just living in bliss, like, just honestly, whatever you'd imagine a happily newly married couple to be, that was us. Going out with friends, and like, you know, going back home, and like having so much amazing alone time together, and it was just, and planning for the baby, you know, doing up our house, like everything was just falling into place. And that was on so our wedding was on the 8th of March. On the 28th of March, what happened was we finally got around to, remember the rings? Remember the rings? The godforsaken rings that were his ring that was too big. We're like, you know what, let's just go. I was like, I'm not going to have you walk around with no ring. So I was like, we're going to go fix this. So he was like, okay, fine. He had work that day. At 4 a.m. he woke up. I went and made him breakfast. This is what I was saying to you when I was like 2 hours, like homemaker deluxe. I would literally wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'd squeeze him orange juice. I'd make him pack lunch for work, like salmon and salad and things like that. Like, I was just so on point with it, never because he asked me, because I wanted to. Although it was 10 months only that we were together, it was the equivalent of some people's years and years and years, because it was just so, like, it was just so right. Everything was right. Like, even the wrong was right. Like, it was, I can't even explain it. So we so came time, 20th of March, I was like, oh, let's go fix the thing. So at 4 o'clock in the morning on the 28th of March, he woke up, went down, made him breakfast. By the time he was having a shower, getting ready, and then I went back to bed. He came and he kissed me, remember? He came and kissed me. He goes, I'll see you later, babe. Because we had made this plan that we're going to meet at the mall where we got our rings, so we can, you know, they can remeasure him and send it back. So I went there with the ring. He also gave me, because he had bought 2 suits for the wedding, so he gave me the other suit that he didn't end up wearing. He told me to return it. So I was just kind of just running errands with my mum, and I thought, you know, also we'll go do a baby shopping. Like, it was just like, just a normal day, like, that you'd expect to have as a newly married, as a normal person. And he was due to finish work at 4 something, I think, at the time. At 5:01, he messaged me and he said to me, "I'm on my way, babe, kiss." So obviously that's all normal and everything, and I'm just carrying on shopping, you know, doing my thing. Around 6 o'clock, I started to think, he should be here now. So I started messaging him, calling him. Like, he was on a motorbike. We had a car, but he decided to buy a motorbike because, you know, to beat traffic. You know, he used to come in and out during rush hour, and he thought, you know, this is the best way to beat traffic. So I knew on motorbike, this journey would take tops 45 minutes. So when it got to 6, like, he should be here, so I started messaging. I was like, "Oh babe, where are you?" Started calling him, and I knew he used his earphones for his GPS. So I was kind of like, why isn't he picking up? Because it would ring. It was just like a bit of like a very surreal moment of like not knowing anything but knowing something at the same time. So I was literally calling him from 6 p.m. up until about 7 o'clock, 7:15. Then I remember going and sitting in a cafe that was in the middle of the mall. Just sat, and I remember, like, it was just so dazed. I was like, what's going on here? And previously, it's like a week or two before that, we were supposed to be meeting, and he ended up stopping at his friend's shop for like half an hour. So he was so late coming to me and didn't message me. So I just thought, I was like, probably just something like that. Like, that's probably what's happened. He's so annoying. Like, how could he not tell me? I said that to myself, but deep inside my heart, I knew it wasn't that. I was like, he wouldn't. We had an argument back then when he did it. He wouldn't do it again. So I think it was around, which is so ridiculous, so ironic. I think it was around 7:25, 7:30ish. Decided to go home. Mom was like, let's just go home. Maybe he's gone home. I was like, why would he go home? But yeah, maybe he has gone home. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna find him there. I'm gonna have such a massive argument with him. And I remember as I was leaving to go to the car park to head home, I messaged him. I was like, it's so ironic, but I messaged him. I was like to him, "Are you dead or alive? Can you please respond?" So got into the car. It felt like the longest journey back home. Pulled up to our drive and I didn't see his bike, and I kind of just like, I felt a bit panicky, but still not fully panicky. Like, not the panic that you'd have when you felt something was wrong. Walked inside the house. I ran straight up to our bedroom, sat on the bed, carried on ringing him. At this point, after the second ring, it went to voicemail. This was 5 minutes. Like, I had been in the house for like 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, I heard like the loudest knock on the door. Like, it wasn't even a doorbell. It was a knock, and it was the loudest knock on the door. And this was like literally seconds after his phone was going to voicemail. So I ran down, and while I was running down, I almost saw the next 10 minutes play out, which is so weird, like so surreal. Like, I really should have bought tissue like that. I saw the next 10 minutes pan out in front of my eyes while I was running down the stairs. I open the door and I see 2 police officers. I just started crying. And they're like, "Can we come in? We need to speak to you." So I ran into the living room. I started crying, and then they came in and they're like, "You know, there's been an accident. And Mohammed didn't make it." I was like, "No. Where is he?" I was just like, all I remember saying was, "Where is he? Where is he?" Like, they kept telling me he's dead. He's like, he didn't make it. He didn't make it. I was like, okay, but where is he? Like, where is he? Like, he's probably in the hospital at least or something. Like, I need to go see him in the hospital to make sure he's dead. Anyway, they said he died at the scene. It was so funny because, oh, I really don't mean to cry. It was 5:01, but he messaged me saying, "I'm on my way, babe. Kiss, kiss." He was pronounced dead at 5:19. Like, in the space of 18 minutes, he thought he was on his way to see his wife, and within a minute, God took him. I remember just saying like, no, where is he? Because no, he can't, because I'm pregnant. I was like, he can't because I'm pregnant. And she kept saying, I was like, he can't because I'm pregnant. And the guy was like, I know, but he's gone. So that happened, and I ended up burying him on the 8th of February, on the 8th of April. So exactly 1 month after actual wedding day was his burial day. And before the burial, the washing of the body, I remember sitting behind the room where they were washing him and just hearing the water. Just hearing the water, wishing it was me, like just wishing I was there. And then they brought him out in this kind of glass. After they washed him, they put cotton buds inside his nose, and they brought him out. Honestly, I did not expect that I was going to cry as much. Do you know when you say the story, you relive the exact emotion, like with death. I don't know if you know anyone who's experienced death, but what a lot of people will tell you is you move on and you get by. But it's only because you forget to think about the pain, because the pain doesn't change, the pain doesn't get less. It's always the same. It literally feels like exact same as when it happened, when you think about it. I don't know why I put myself through this to make this video, but anyway, I'm just hoping it will help someone who's gone through loss or grief. So I don't even know what's happening with my makeup right now. So I remember they took him out and I just saw his face and I just broke down. Literally broke down. I couldn't even hold, my legs couldn't hold themselves. So I remember throwing myself, and I remember people holding me around me. And I was just holding like the glass and just kissing the glass. I think the most difficult thing was the fact that it was just so sudden. He didn't have an illness, he didn't have something that I was kind of preparing myself for. It was literally just, you know, you've just decided that you're going to spend the rest of your life together, you've got plans, you've got a baby, and he just gets taken out of the world. Like, just like that. It's like a person that you've surrounded your entire life around has just been plucked out, and you're literally like, what is my existence anymore? God. So, moving on to finally what this video is really about, the grieving process after the burial. Like, up until the burial, I found it very, very difficult to kind of feel the emotion that I was supposed to be feeling. Like, I didn't really know what emotions I had after the burial, after seeing him. I remember when they took him, obviously they bury him without a coffin, so you can feel his body when it's wrapped with the sheet. Just feeling, I remember feeling his arm, and they just lowered him. But a couple of men just went inside the grave and just lowered him in. I remember at that time, the only thing I was thinking was, I know I wasn't religious, and I know you weren't religious, and you don't even have a chance to fix it. You're like, when I say I wasn't religious, I was like nowhere near to where I am now. I was a lot further away. I was just so scared for him that he was now going to go in the grave, thinking I've got to get as many people as I can to pray Salat al-Washa for him. Like, I was just like, my brain was going into, like, I didn't even have time to think or grieve. I was just thinking, like, what can I do now to give him more, like, thawab? Like, what can I do? He can't do anything anymore. He's, like, his time's gone, that's it's up. What can I do for him? like, what charity can I just quickly, just thinking of like, what can I do? That was like my main priority. What can I do for him? Well, I need to do something for him, like what? And I remember I stayed in the house, but I couldn't sleep in our bed, so I ended up sleeping on the floor in the living room for about 9 months. And then we moved back to, in fact, after 5-6 months we moved back to my parents' house, my aunt's house, and I ended up continuing to sleep in the living room, but on the sofa this time, because obviously it was getting towards the end of my pregnancy. And I think for 5 months I was so I was in and out of grief. Like, I didn't really know what I was doing. Like, I think it just comes, like, that comes with sudden deaths. Your brain hasn't really registered it, and every time it registers, in that split second that it does register it, you just drown. And then you're up again, because again, it's not registering again anymore. It's just a very weird concept. I don't know if it's the same for death, you know, expected death, like from old age and illness, but that's how it felt like for a sudden death. So for 4 or 5 months, you know, I was in and out, and I know it sounds really cliched, but the only thing that helped me was God. Like, literally the only thing that helped me. And not just God, being thankful to God. Like, to be thankful in such a situation is the most difficult thing. Because, like, well, God just took the love of my life out of my life. You know, and I've got a baby, and like the rest of my life, all my plans for my future involved him, and now he's gone. I have no future anymore. That's how I felt. Literally, it's like you're looking at like a black wall. It's just the easiest time for you to not be thankful, and I don't know how. All I could do was just be thankful. I used to thank God for every breath in the morning that I took. I used to thank God every single day that my baby was still alive inside my stomach. I started thanking God for things that, like, I've not even noticed in my life. And just by doing that, I started seeing something else, like, for my husband, and I was like, this was the best thing that could have ever happened to him. I was like, God took him. Like, you know, we were on this path of who knows what. You know, he could have, he was not really into his religion. Not because he didn't want to be, because he's never known anything otherwise. He's been, you know, he pretty much brought himself up, you know, on his own, you know, in this country, and he didn't really know much about religion. And when he met my family and he started asking more, becoming more inquisitive, he was just, his heart was so pure at that moment. Like, he really wanted to know, like, he was genuine. I think God took him at that moment, before it got to the point where we all get to, where you really want to know, you really want to get into your deen, and then you get into your deen and then you kind of start to slip away again. It's almost as if he took him, like, he's 25, he took him, why? Like, he took him to stop any more sins accumulating for him. He's like, you know, that's like the best thing that we could ever ask for from our Lord, is take us when you're most pleased with us. So I just thought to myself, I was like, you know what, like, I just started, you know, making sort of things up in my head, and started convincing myself of, like, this is actually the best case scenario for him. Like, he's so lucky, like, you know, God really, like, and just the more I thought about it, the more, you know, he was in such, he was in a completely non-Muslim environment before I met him. Had I not met him, he would have 100% had a non-Muslim burial, possibly even cremation. God was like, no, he is due to die on this day. I'm going to take him out of the situation. I'm going to bring this person in his life, where this person, and my priority was ensuring he had this Islamic burial. So it's almost as if, like, God, you know, wanted him, you know, he knew who was taking him. He was like, no, but I want the best end for him. You know, when he leaves this earth, I want it to be on my terms. I want it to be in the Islamic way. And so just the more I started thinking about things like that, I was so happy. so weird. I was so happy, but I was so sad. But it was precisely those thoughts that helped me kind of get over the sadness a bit, and help me to start to forget the sadness day by day. I think with sudden deaths, it's just at the same time your body's trying to grieve, your body's trying to accept what's happening. It's a very very weird place to be at. Contradictory, because if you haven't yet accepted what's happened, what are you grieving for? And it's very kind of like you're either here or either here, and that jump, it kind of doesn't allow you to fully grieve. So in my case, I had a very, very delayed grieving. I was grieving for the 5 months straight after, but it was a very, like I told you, very weird kind of grieving. Like I'd cry some days I couldn't cry. It was very, very slow. Leading up to 5 months, that's when I started feeling panic attacks. You know, when you start to feel that, by about 5 months, that's when you kind of realise he's not coming back. 100% he's not going to come back. That's when you realise this is actually now your new life. This is your new normal, and that's when the panic attacks kind of start. And you just can't, like when the sadness comes, it just drowns you, like literally drowns you. And I was so lucky, like in terms of like with God, I was so blessed that he timed that exactly 1 month. He timed this, you know, this delayed grievance exactly 1 month before my daughter was born. So I didn't even have time, like I had 1 month to have this, like, this drowning. And by the next month I was giving birth, and I couldn't help but be thankful. I couldn't help but be happy. Yeah, I was sad that, like, look, when I say happy, yeah, majority I'm happy, but you know, those little moments of sadness that just creep up on you, they drown you, they take everything out of you, even though just for a minute, even though for just 5 minutes, they take everything from you. So it's literally that's what your life is. That's what your life becomes. It becomes a new normal. You can't ever compare your new life to your old life. That is basically how to grieve. You know, it's a case of accepting the new normal. Never ever comparing your old life to your new life. The minute you do that is the minute you'll drown. Just accepting that this is now your new normal. That acceptance will come with a massive rush of sadness, but it will kind of balance out almost, and you'll have more happier times. What will happen is where you had 90% of your day was sad, then it goes down to 80%, it goes down to 70%, it goes down to eventually over a year, over time, it goes down and down and down and down. And you start to have a predominantly happy day, but you do all get the sadness here and there. And the sadness is what's the most important thing to remember, is when you recall the sadness, it comes as though it happened a week ago. It's exactly the same hurt that you feel, but the only difference is you feel it less because you think about it less, and you train your mind. Then God blessed us with the ability to forget, and not forget the people, but forget the pain a bit. And I know, as cliched as it sounds, but if I didn't have God, I would have crumbled and died. I'm the kind of person that in my life, I've never had anything crazy happen to me. I've never had, like, you know, people around me die. I always thought to myself, you know what, if someone like close to me died, I would actually die. Like, do you know when you think about someone close to you dying and you start to get panic attacks and you start crying, and that's not even happened, just the thought. I was that person. So I knew for sure if it happened to me, I would literally crumble and die, and you don't. God just injects you with this strength from I don't know where, because literally I do not know where it came from. And it just gave me the ability to just see it. And even though people didn't understand, like, why is she thankful? She just lost her husband. Why is she thankful? No one got it. But I just had this urge to be thankful. Because I was like, he was 25. He didn't get any more days. God's given me more days. Already he's given me more days. I don't know if he's going to give me tomorrow. I don't know if I've got another month. I don't know if I've got another year. Like, I don't know if I've got another 10 years. I don't know. I should be thankful for my now. I'm so thankful for my now. I'm thankful that God's giving me a little sign and he's like to me, come back and start focusing. So just that thankfulness, where it started is almost me not convincing myself, me like kind of half-assed believing it. It's like, I'm thankful. I don't quite get why, but yeah, I get why, because of this is just that constant thinking process. I believed it. By the end of it, I'd start to recall things that happened in our life, and I was like, oh my God, that's related to that. That's why this happened. Like, and they always say to you, like, you don't get why something happens to you. You know, why did God do this? And you will find out. I'm such a firm believer that you will find out eventually. Whether it's a week, whether it's a month, whether it's 5 years, you will reach a point where you're like, that's why that had to happen that way. Because of this thing that's happening now, or because to allow this to happen. Like, it all makes sense eventually. And I think the moment I kind of like started to feel like that and think, like, thank God it happened like this. I'm so happy God took him so soon. Like, I'm so happy for him. Like, when I kept telling myself that, I actually started to fully believe it. I don't care if it's not the right thing. I care that it helped my grieving process. I care that it gave me a good image of where he was going. And an image I full well believe. I think the most important thing, you know, with any type of grieving is to not expect to be normal again. You're never going to be normal. Anyone who tells you are going to be normal, lying to you. It's a new normal. That's what it is. It's a new life. You know, the best thing you can do is leave every single routine you had before. As many as you can possibly. Obviously, I'm not saying leave your wife. And just thank God. Like, honestly, thank God. Thank God that you're still breathing. And, you know, thank God that, you know, he has this plan for you. And he had that plan for him. Just thank God. Like, do you know, always the best thing to remember is we're all going there. Like, this is how I kept telling myself is, me and him are the same right now. It's like almost like a race, and he got there first, and I'm catching up with him. I'll be there soon. That's how I kept kind of reasoning it in my head. Like, I'll be there soon. There's nothing different between me and him. And I don't know, just those positive thoughts, I think they just kind of like, where they started off as me kind of trying to convince myself, they just became inbuilt in me, and I couldn't think any other way. Like, I literally could not think any other way. I cry now, but I'm not sad. I'm not sad at all. I'll tell you what, the only time I'll get sad is if I say talk to a guy, or, you know, try to get to know a guy, and there's something happens that's, you know, negative, or something that upsets me, and I just think to myself, I wouldn't be here if you were still here. That's the only time. And obviously when I see my daughter, and I just think, I wish he was here. And like, that's another thing that makes me sound like, I just wish he was here to experience what I'm experiencing, because it's just such an amazing time. I wish he was here to see her. Like, he would love her so much. Like, anyway, it's just normal stuff, right? Oh God, I did not think I was going to cry this much, let me tell you. But I hope, I know this, like, if all my videos before weren't coherent, then what is this? This is literally gibberish, this video. Like, I don't even know if anyone's going to hear me past my crying and like my bawling. But I hope you can, and I hope you can take something, if anything, out of this video. You know, that it's not the end. You know, whatever loss you go through, it's not the end. And the best way to grieve is to turn to God. But yeah, that was my story time-ish. How to deal with loss-ish. So yeah. Thank you. Bye.